Let's talk about Jake Paul.
Yeah, let's move to something more fun. So most people don't know this about you, but you were a Golden Gloves boxer. So I know a little bit. I mean, obviously I understand sports and athleticism and all that, and I have some opinions on this, but I don't have the boxing experience.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just preface that, but I will say that you do.
I was decent.
You were decent, and you've coached it, and you've been around it for a long time. And so you can at least formulate some opinions on it. But Mike Tyson, who's almost 60
years old,
is going to fight Jake Paul, who, by the way, is not a bad boxer. Like I commend him.
He's legit.
He has dedicated himself and become a very good boxer. But people are questioning, what is the point, or why are you doing it?
Yeah.
And so I've seen videos that have cropped up of Mike training, and everybody thinks Mike looks, great for being 60, which props to him. But do you think he stands a chance against Jake Paul?
Oh yeah. He absolutely has a puncher's chance, 100%. Because in boxing, just like any other combat sport, anybody can lose.
Correct.
So from that standpoint, absolutely. The one thing Mike has in his favor that many of Paul's other opponents don't have is experience. Lots of experience. When you actually get into the ring, one thing, even on an amateur level, like experience matters.
Yeah, a lot.
Like there are things and tricks and movements and the ability to. Perfect example of this is what happened with Francis Ngannou and Anthony Joshua just 2 weeks ago. Francis Ngannou is the scariest puncher in the world right now of combat sports. He got knocked out, cold-clocked. But why did that happen? Because he didn't have the experience going up against a guy like Anthony Joshua, who's had 30 fights and has been fighting since he was 19 in this one sport. And Joshua was able to download his whole technique. You could see it right away. Boom, 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 boom. Knocked him right out. And Mike Tyson is more than capable of hurting Jake Paul.
I mean, dude, I saw him throwing some punches, and we'll play the video here in just a sec.
The ultimate question will be whether or not his body at 60 can hold up to the shots and just the movement. But Jake Paul, yes, he has knockout power, but he's not a ferocious puncher.
Yeah,
he's not the kind of puncher that's just going to go steamroll people. So in that sense, I think Mike has more shot than people might be giving him credit for, and they should probably just remember that even an old lion can still get the job done.
My dad and I were talking about it, and he said I was watching like behind the story of Mike Tyson or whatever, and they were able to make a highlight reel, show every single knockout that he's ever had in like a 30-minute video clip, because none of his fights lasted more than like 3 minutes, right? So my question would be, can he go the distance, right? Because we all know that if he actually lands a shot, it might be game over for Jake.
Yeah.
But the way that he lost, the very first time he lost, was somebody who was able to go the distance, right?
True.
And so
I'm mostly curious if Jake Paul can handle the experience factor of someone who knows how to cut the ring off, who knows how to move and is defensive, even though he's significantly slower than he once was. There's certain aspects of technique that Paul has not seen. I've seen most of his fights. He hasn't seen yet in a fighter. Tommy Fury was not that. Right. Mike would destroy Tommy Fury, I think, personally. So I think that's going to be the big thing. I don't know if the fight will actually happen. And there's some speculation about headgear and other things that have come out that Paul has said that's not true. So I will watch it. I'll tell you that, though. I'm going to watch it. I plan on tuning in. But I applaud Jake Paul from a business sense and even from a boxing sense. I mean, Mike Tyson is no joke, even at 60. It doesn't earn him like massive credibility. I think it's one of those things of like, we can have a great event, make some money, and also being able to say, I boxed Mike Tyson or got my head punched in by Mike Tyson is not a bad thing to be able to say. So he's, as they say, living his best life. Jake Paul is on his best life.
So for all the people who aren't boxing fans, you named a couple guys just a few minutes ago, right? Most people probably don't know that.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Mike Tyson.
Correct.
And so for the sport, great marketing strategy. And we all know that Jake and Logan Paul are incredible marketers, know how to produce content, know how to build the hype. He's taken a page out of the Floyd Mayweather book, right? So there's that. And there's some revitalization back to the sport of boxing as a byproduct. But what I want to watch is this TMZ clip, because it shows some Mike Tyson boxing, but then it shows their whole, community talking about who they think they're going to win. They're kind of taking bets and stuff. And so we'll see how that counters
It's
what you
day
say.
one, the fun just begun.
You've still got abs.
Mike Tyson has started training for his big fight against Jake Paul, and I know a lot of people have criticized Jake for saying he should not be fighting a guy who is almost 60 years old. I'm starting to worry about Jake a little bit here because Mike looks phenomenal.
Really?
Phenomenal.
Mike Tyson is going to injure this kid.
No, he is not.
He's in great shape.
The problem is he's going to be able to do this for about 10 seconds.
True.
That's day one of him fighting, of training.
He's going to be almost 60.
So what, dude? Look at him. Look at him.
I will bet you Mike Tyson gets knocked out.
I'd be knocked out.
This guy is one of the best punchers ever in boxing. Well, the bigger thing for me is he smokes a lot of weed.
Well, Jake did ayahuasca with Aaron Rodgers, so.
Well, but ayahuasca comes in.
Those some positives for TMZ don't get us. It's interesting. Interesting. I don't know what to say. I mean, I think I do think if I want to be fair to Jake Paul, is like he can knock out Mike Tyson. And anybody can get knocked out in a moment, and he has the power to do it. He can catch Mike with an uppercut when he's coming in because Mike's significantly slower. Like, I don't think people understand how serious Mike was. Like, everyone knows Mike Tyson, but when you actually go back and look at how this dude was smart, had technique, had power,
Was fierce.
he was
Aggressive.
a complete fighter, man. He's significantly slower, but his technique is there. If his body can hold up for a short period of time, a long enough period of time, and he can cut the ring off and get on the inside a bit, he can hurt Jake. He can hurt Jake because Jake hasn't really been hit. I think it's a great opportunity for both men to go out and do something that's a great privilege to be able to do. Fight in front of potentially millions of people, make millions of dollars for 36 minutes of work, tops probably.
Potentially, yeah.
And so, but don't sleep on Mike, man. Do not sleep on Mike just because he's close to 60. Like, there's old man
look at that
strength.
right there.
We say there's old man strength for a reason.
Yeah. And that muscle memory. And if he actually stops
Exactly.
smoking and really tightens up his training, I mean, who knows what he could look like when he shows up? Because right now he's still got abs.
You said it, muscle memory,
Yeah.
technique. There is some technical flaws in Jake's game, the way he throws certain shots. Like,
Well, just for perspective, I grew up skateboarding, and like when COVID and lockdown happened, I hadn't picked up my board in maybe 7 years.
Yeah.
And I got right back on it, and I was throwing 360 flips and heel flips and 180s and ollies and stuff. So things that I hadn't done for a really long time, and just came right back. And then I spent, weeks on end skating. I got progressively really good, fast. The comeback was much quicker.
I think if Paul's conditioning, I think if Mike goes the distance, if his conditioning holds up, in the Fury fight, Paul's conditioning wasn't great. And if it's anything like that fight against a real boxer, he's in trouble. Like, because Mike is not the guy you want to be tired in tight corners with.
No.
That's so.
Game over.
Yeah.